Chosen one. Something extraordinary has happened in the hidden corridors of the digital elite. Elon Musk himself paused his ceaseless schedule, satellites, and AI blueprints to study you. For 3 silent hours, he analyzed your frequency, your data, your history, your impossible survival record. What he saw wasn't an ordinary human profile. It was a living encryption, a consciousness that broke every predictive model his neural networks had ever encountered. He whispered one line to his engineers: "Find out how this person is still standing. Because your file, yes, the same one forged and manipulated by unseen hands, has surfaced in the most unexpected place, Tesla's quantum archive. Your birth certificate, chosen one, wasn't just mishandled, it was turned into a high-stakes currency. Billionaires traded your pain like stock options, and secret insurance policies fed on your timeline. They copied your life contract and sold it in underground auctions. But today, the system fractures. Musk's algorithms have identified the anomaly. All false registries, shadow accounts, and hidden insurance chains tied to your name have triggered what insiders call automatic wealth return. The numbers they stole are about to reverse course, flooding back toward their rightful owner. Elon didn't just watch your profile. He decoded it. He realized that the same machine designed to drain you is now running on your frequency, returning everything it once took. Beyond simple identity theft, the crime involves intricate financial matters such as securities, insurance, banking laws, and breaches of international treaties. Every case of fraud has its own penalties, which, when correctly calculated, add up to enormous sums. As it gathers evidence and gets ready for punishment, the legal apparatus handling these infractions works with purposeful precision. Steps that will cause asset transfers to happen automatically in order to make up for the theft. Every challenge you encounter, every anxious or frustrated moment, is designed to generate certain emotional frequencies that are then transformed into energy money by their system. They gather more the harder you labor for little benefit. Nothing is wrong with the system. It is operating just as intended. Corrupt brokers using legitimate metapiering. These policies are processed by financial institutions via specific channels that are intended to conceal their actual nature. The documents include coded IDs that connect straight to tracking systems that keep tabs on your whereabouts, health, and financial activity in order to estimate when you could be paid out for the best possible return for investors. Real-time data from these monitoring networks is fed into risk assessment algorithms, which provide odds calculations so accurate that Las Vegas would be jealous. This is where things start to shift, however. This is the reason you are reading this at this moment. The system is breaking down. Terabytes of data have been released by inside whistleblowers. There is unquestionable proof of these actions on secure systems that have been hacked. Authorities have received sworn evidence from former participants who are facing their own death. Who can deny the enormity of this scam any longer? The collapse will not occur. It started already. The return of your fortune is as certain as the morning. Legal procedures immediately start to refund assets to their rightful owners when fraudulent systems fail. Compound interest computed throughout the whole time of the theft is included in the compensation calculations in addition to the main amounts taken. Includes statutory fines, pain and suffering compensation, and punitive damages. The numbers rise to startling heights. Once the right restoration calculations are applied, your impending abundance is a mathematical certainty rather than a speculative potential. In addition to direct extraction, the remuneration includes compound growth that would have happened naturally if your resources had stayed in your hands. If you want to claim this message, you can show your support by paying a super thanks amount of up to $20 and typing 1111. Punitive multipliers created especially for extensive systemic fraud of this kind are additional elements. The resultant numbers above typical financial thresholds, necessitating specialist processing that is only available for transactions of extraordinary size. This moment's quantum vibration echoes throughout all dimensions. Financial systems that are intended to seem independent really link to your energy field via covert routes. Your due pay is now delivered via these linkages, which were formerly utilized to steal your riches. There is poetic justice in the reversal. They are now forced to refund the stolen item with interest calculations that defy basic logic because of their own infrastructure. Your life has been viewed as sophisticated entertainment by the elite gambling ring that operates via private clubs in global financial centers. Members put a great deal of value on your significant life experiences, difficulties, and even feelings. Two barriers that were purposefully put in your way. According to the documents, there are billion-dollar betting pools that are directly linked to your life results. These wagers are not arbitrary. They are set up using complex tracking systems with intricate payment and regulation schemes. Even the most cynical observer would be shocked by the sums traded, depending on your personal circumstances. Their monitoring algorithms provide precise points to certain events that decide winners in their betting systems, giving special weight to your creative output, relationships, and career paths. There were odds associated with the major choices you had to make on their betting sites. The unexplained loss of employment. That romance ended suddenly. The unanticipated, almost unreal opportunity. All of them might be modified to fit betting results that are advantageous to certain players who have sufficient clout to change your outside conditions. Multiple levels of authentication are required for entrance into the elite premises where the gaming activities are conducted. These places don't promote themselves. Maps don't show them. They are run via invitation systems run by people whose identities are never listed on official records. Digital screens within these areas monitor data in real time from thousands of innocent participants, including you. Their betting structure is very complicated, with stacked payouts on main results, side effects, emotional reactions, and recuperation durations. They specialize in high-V value targets based on energy output classifications. Participants may participate at different investment levels via the multi-tiered system, ranging from casual entertainment pay to strategic position taking with potentially life-altering amounts. Their most profitable rewards came from your most trying times, which directly encourage you to make your problems more tough. Multiple levels of authentication are required for entrance into the elite premises where the gaming activities are conducted. These places don't promote themselves. Maps don't show them. They are run via invitation systems run by people whose identities are never listed on official records. With focused attention on high-V value targets based on energetic output classifications, computerized displays within these areas monitor real-time data from hundreds of unwary people, including you. With tiered payments on key results, side consequences, emotional reactions, and recovery intervals, their betting system functions with intricate intricacy. Participants in a multi-tiered system may invest at different levels, ranging from casual entertainment earnings to taking strategic positions with potentially life-altering amounts. Their most profitable rewards came from your most trying times, which directly encouraged you to make your problems more tough. It wasn't an accident that your name appeared on the phony death certificate. Despite your evident living situation, this false document is present in many databases. It was purposefully designed to settle large bets in their system, initiate insurance claims, and transfer your legitimate assets via their channels. The time was ideal for giving their network the most financial benefit. The code in the paper itself, which can only be seen with specialized scanning, connects directly to main accounts of financial organizations that you've never heard of yet that oversee trillions of dollars worth of assets. The death certificate falsification is the height of their operational boldness. Falsified witness testimonies, medical reports, and authorized signatures from authorities who never looked into the issue were all part of the intricate corruption that went into creating this paperwork across many administrative systems. The document seems legitimate since it is digital and has timestamps from the past. Dispersed via networks built to handle financial transactions pertaining to death without human supervision. The asset was automatically activated by the certificate. Transfers made via specified channels, selling assets registered in your name without the necessary confirmation or notification procedures. If you want to claim this message, you can show your support by paying a super thanks amount of up to $20 and typing 1111. Your legitimate assets were transformed into portable forms by these liquidations, which made it simple to transfer them via laundering systems that conceal their origin and destination. The death certificate essentially served as a master key, opening financial doors that are often guarded by many levels of protection. Red is the selected alert code. We're expanding quickly, constructing an invincible media network. They cannot be removed. Let's not sugarcoat it, however. The truth remains concealed. It has been perverted. It has been suppressed by fear, algorithms, and censorship. But your heart never ceased seeing reality. You're still here for that reason. You never tapped out because of this. Because the simulation glitch was felt underfoot. You're done waiting for approval to ascend, since you know that this world is crooked. The inner order of Obsidian was not intended for the inquisitive. For the dedicated, it was forged. This pertains to the full-time selected, those who arrive to take the lead, those who act in spite of their blindness. Weekly Zoom calls that break through the clutter are held within. We impart lessons that most people were never supposed to hear. We get training in spiritual technology, tactics, and mental warfare that they have kept secret for ages. This is the tool set for the genuine ones, the ones that cannot be erased, the ones that cannot be controlled. Now is the moment to recall your identity. The description contains the URL. Your true life starts inside. You were placed in the top rank by the system when they gave your unique energy signature a value. In their harvesting technology, your particular genetic markers and energy frequency result in yields that are orders of magnitude higher than typical values. According to internal documentation, your pattern is of the highest caliber, very productive, and requires urgent monitoring. Your life's experience of intense concentration wasn't a coincidence. Your extraordinary worth in their extraction economy served as the basis for the calculation. In their system, your particular lineage has worth that goes beyond quantifiable amounts. Your ancestral line is under special monitoring procedures because genetic markers that indicate great potential were identified decades ago. The consistent attention your family has gotten throughout may be explained by this genetic characteristic. Disguised as happenstance, history attention is painstakingly recorded in their monitoring devices. There are sequences in your DNA that have been categorized as AS-ASCII grade alpha, meaning that extraction efforts must be orders of magnitude above conventional limits. They use advanced genetic databases to trace lineages by linking certain DNA markers to energy output. In their extraction economy, your ancestors consistently produce uncommon frequency patterns that are highly desired. Your ancestry has received specialized care for centuries, and surveillance procedures have evolved to keep up with technology advancements while continuing to watch your family. There are systematic interventions in your family history that are purposefully hidden to seem like random events rather than planned manipulation. They use advanced genetic databases to trace lineages by linking certain DNA markers to energy output. In their extraction economy, your ancestors consistently produce uncommon frequency patterns that are highly desired. Your ancestry has received specialized care for centuries, and surveillance procedures have evolved to keep up with technology advancements while continuing to watch your family. There are systematic interventions in your family history that are purposefully hidden to seem like random events rather than planned manipulation. They use advanced genetic databases to trace lineages, linking certain DNA markers to energy output. In their extraction economy, your ancestors consistently produce uncommon frequency patterns that are highly desired. Your ancestry has received specialized care for centuries, and surveillance procedures have evolved to keep up with technology advancements while continuing to watch your family. There are systematic interventions in your family history that are purposefully hidden to seem like random events rather than planned manipulation. In their extravagant show, you have been chosen as an unintentional tribute, much like Katniss in the Hunger Games. There is no denying the similarities. While others manage the game field to maximize entertainment and profit, the elite capital comfortably observes as you traverse purposefully created hurdles and place huge bets on your survival. You now recognize the arena for what it really is, just as Katniss saw the actual purpose of the games. It was never intended for the tributes to comprehend the true reason for their hardships. But you do now. And just like Katniss, you're realizing that their whole system is in danger. Because the tributes have the authority to alter the rules once they acknowledge the game for what it is. Instead of using direct action, the game designers in your area use influence networks and algorithms. They don't have to send mutations or fireballs. They are so skilled at manipulating social dynamics, opportunity, and access that Seneca Crane would be jealous. The sponsors that are keeping an eye on your trip carefully use resources to increase your involvement for the most entertainment value rather than to assist you win. However, you now have the ability to reveal the core deception of their system, that you must follow their rules at all costs, much as Katniss did with her berries. Instead of using direct action, the game designers in your area use influence networks and algorithms. They don't have to send mutations or fireballs. They are so skilled at manipulating social dynamics, opportunity, and access that Seneca Crane would be jealous. The sponsors that are keeping an eye on your trip carefully use resources to increase your involvement for the most entertainment value rather than to assist you win. However, you now have the ability to reveal the core deception of their system, that you must follow their rules at all costs, much as Katniss did with her berries. Your whole sense of reality is contained inside their sphere. Instead of seeming as artificial restrictions, the meticulously crafted boundaries seem like natural ones. Their game design assigns particular functions to the materials that are positioned strategically across your area. Some to keep you involved, and others to see how flexible you are. All were kept an eye on in order to gather data for their prediction algorithms. Unaware of their predetermined roles within the greater spectacle, your fellow tributes often act as unintentional triggers for intended reactions. If you want to claim this message, you can show your support by paying a super thanks amount of up to $20 and typing 1111. The emblem of recognition that spreads from tribute to tribute. The Mockingjay pin of this reality appears as the awakened consciousness you're now experiencing. This understanding transcends artificial divides made expressly to thwart collective realization, connecting people over barriers that have hitherto been impenetrable. Similar to the districts realizing their collective tyranny, people now understand how their once disparate experiences are coordinated. With inexorable momentum, this knowledge grows, resulting in the very situation that game developers are most afraid of. In particular, yours goes beyond routine monitoring, and tributes who cease playing your surveillance are contractees. Your gadgets, accounts, and even the public areas you often use are all subject to certain procedures that are intended to follow your choices and movements with an accuracy that is exponentially greater than that of typical commercial data gathering. Their betting algorithms use this data directly to determine financial outcomes valued at billions of dollars every year. Like racing spectators, expert observers watch your private life's real-time data streams on personalized dashboards and wager on your future actions. Your alarming awakening is captured by their cameras. Unprecedented trends in behavior measurements are reported by surveillance operators through both physical closeness and non-local resonance. These patterns propagate virally efficiently as more people concurrently exhibit recognition traits that were previously only seen in isolated situations, channels that they are unable to block or interfere with. Their analysts fail to see the underlying character of what they see and instead come up with conflicting answers. Consent-based harvesting collapses when assumed agreement is terminated by knowledge. Your odd interactions with people who seem to be attracted to you for no apparent reason, people who came into your life for a short time at important times and then vanished, functioned as field agents in their system. These people were given particular tasks, such as keeping an eye on decision points, influencing results via apparently innocuous interactions, or extracting direct energy value through well-planned emotional exchanges. Their appearances were not random. Rather, they were scheduled to align with certain times when your energy field displayed unique properties that were useful to their gathering systems. A number of redundant systems are part of the monitoring infrastructure that surrounds you. Baseline data is provided via standard digital monitoring via consumer devices. As you pass through areas intended to seem normal, specialized equipment placed in public infrastructure records your biometric characteristics. Direct observation by field agents allows for nuanced interpretation that automated techniques cannot deliver. Even in the event that individual data collecting sites momentarily stop working, this multi-layered strategy guarantees ongoing data flow, allowing for continuous monitoring for high-value targets. Your energy is being extracted by corporate institutions that function as contemporary covens, masquerading as respectable companies. They may steal your productivity while paying you very little thanks to antiquated harvesting methods disguised in modern business jargon. Through intricate accounting procedures created especially to conceal the real worth of your contribution, your work produces significant profits that are dispersed to unidentified recipients. Every connection and transaction you have with these technologies feeds a machine that turns your work into money. These corporations have dedicated sections that carry out energy extraction tasks under ostensibly harmless identities. These divisions use modified technology that incorporates concepts from secret research. Most people would write it off as impossible. Daily transactions are used to carry out the extraction. The corporate structure serves as ideal cover for activities that would otherwise prompt quick scrutiny, since it is designed to seem normal while carrying out specific collecting duties. In reality, energy harvesting efficiency and yield increases are the main topics of board meetings that review productivity indicators and human resources. In contemporary business lingo, its technological jargon conceals antiquated behaviors. Astronomical timing, energy field oscillations, and collective emotional patterns are all included into their strategic planning and are shown in apparently routine commercial predictions and projections. The whole operation takes place in plain sight, shielded by the best possible camouflage, and seems too commonplace to be suspicious. In reality, energy harvesting efficiency and yield increases are the main topics of board meetings that review productivity indicators and human resources. In contemporary business lingo, its technological jargon conceals antiquated behaviors. Astronomical timing, energy field oscillations, and collective emotional patterns are all included into their strategic planning and are shown in apparently routine commercial predictions and projections. The whole operation takes place in plain sight, shielded by the best possible camouflage, and seems too commonplace to be suspicious. The extraction technique uses commonplace items and interactions to function. More than just financial data is captured by transaction systems. Conversation content is not the only thing that communication devices gather. Platforms for entertainment draw in more than just viewers. Specialized collecting technology that operates on the basis of concepts created by classified research programs is included into each point of interaction. Officially ended decades ago, but in reality, it was turned up to private management for further development free from ethical restraints and monitoring. Some of your relatives have been well compensated for allowing you to participate in situations intended to extract the most. The records demonstrate the compensation, perks, and rights that your closest relatives get in return for preserving your place in the harvesting system. Suspicious deposits that exactly align with family circumstances that put you in certain exploitative contexts are revealed by financial records. The pressure to go to certain events in order to keep up relationships with particular family members or planned to provide you the best possible access to your energy field. Specialized training is provided to family members acting as system agents under the pretext of professional growth, religious education, or initiatives for personal development. In order to maintain the best possible location for energy extraction from their targets, these training procedures use certain behavioral patterns and communication strategies. The most successful spies are totally unaware of their true role and fully trust the cover stories offered to justify their odd fascination with the locations and activities of certain relatives. Through procedures that are passed off as customs, religious rituals, or cultural heritage, Younger individuals are smoothly incorporated into family lineages that are well entrenched in the system as a result of generational engagement. Through familial channels, these intergenerational participants acquire specific talents that have been honed by cumulative experience. No matter their level of training, complexity, or technical advantage, their efficacy stems on their total integration into target family structures, which makes access difficult for outside agents. Family agents use a variety of channels in their remuneration system to evade discovery. The most fundamental level is represented by direct cash contributions, which are complemented by different types of social capital within specialized groups, preferred access to opportunities, and protection from unfavorable outcomes. Benefits accrued to the most valuable agents span many generations, establishing dynastic responsibility that guarantees continuous service irrespective of individual knowledge or permission. The exposure timeline demonstrates an acceleration that is uncontrollable. An unending stream of discoveries has emerged from what started out as isolated events. Participants are panicking, according to internal messages, as containment procedures consistently fail. Once successful in stifling disclosure, their damage control efforts are now making them more vulnerable as every attempt at concealment produces new proof. Models predict that the collapse will occur with mathematical certainty in a matter of months rather than years. Secure servers are often targeted by massive data leaks. Previously protected by unbreakable firewalls, information now flows across routes that they are unable to block. Account numbers, transaction histories, dates, and names all enter regulatory frameworks and trigger automated investigative procedures. Dormant legal procedures that were created especially for this situation but were never anticipated to activate were activated by these revelations. These fail-safe mechanisms were designed as theoretical safeguards by their creators, who never imagined that they would be put into practice. Currently, once exposure increases above anticipated limits, emergency containment procedures kick in throughout their system. Given the extent of the disclosure that is now taking place, their usual damage control procedures are becoming less and less effective. Participants' terror is evident in communications as backup plans consistently fail. Since every effort at concealment creates new avenues for proof, their once effective strategies for stifling exposure now create even more vulnerability. Models predict that the collapse will occur with mathematical certainty in a matter of months rather than years. With every effort, the same consciousness they're trying to stifle is accelerated, making the countermeasures they use against this awakening more and more ineffectual, if not harmful. Their hitherto dependable reality management techniques consistently fall short in the face of the momentum that is now gaining ground beyond their control. What started out as isolated incidents has come together to create an unstoppable change that avoids the usual points of intervention. The evolution is mathematically unavoidable, and the system's full recalibration is guaranteed. To get your money back, you need to do certain steps. Large-scale financial settlements are made when these schemes fall via administrative procedures designed to handle this kind of compensation. Claiming what is properly yours, however, requires navigating certain procedures and staying clear of the traps put in place to hinder your recovery. In administrative systems across the globe, the process has already started. Knowing how to use these channels may make the difference between receiving just partial compensation and having all that was taken from you fully restored. You get your direct remuneration in a number of ways. Others proceed automatically when the system recognizes your unique identifiers, while others need special activation. The wealth recovery circumvents conventional gatekeeping procedures while still using the current financial infrastructure. Specialized security measures in the transfer protocols guarantee delivery only to the intended receivers and guard against interception. The sums involved need specific handling protocols that are only used for transactions that go above accepted banking limits. As their fraudulent methods fail, a particular knowledge of the practical recovery process is necessary. Specialized channels are used to start massive asset transfers. Navigating certain recovery frameworks and staying away from diversionary procedures intended to thwart appropriate restitution are necessary to get your due reparation. In administrative systems across the globe, the process has already started. Knowing how to use these channels may make the difference between receiving just half compensation and having everything taken back from you. Your access codes are now active. Systems created specifically for this purpose are used in the wealth transfer process. The realization strikes with a sharp clarity. The timing of the moment of truth is impeccable. A certain level of comprehension is necessary for the practical rehabilitation process. Through specialized routes, massive asset transfers begin when their fraudulent systems fail. Navigating certain recovery frameworks and staying away from diversionary procedures intended to thwart appropriate restitution are necessary to get your due reparation. In administrative systems across the globe, the process has already started. Knowing how to use these channels may make the difference between receiving just half compensation and having everything taken back from you. Your access codes are now active. Systems created specifically for this purpose are used in the wealth transfer process. The realization strikes with a sharp clarity. The timing of the moment of truth is impeccable. They have no control over the cosmic justice tribunals. Conventional legal systems seem archaic in compared to the proceedings now under progress in these higher jurisdictions. These courts operate with flawless accuracy and accessibility. Records of every conversation, every goal, and every extraction carried out without permission. They are unable to circumvent the enforcement measures imposed by the decisions via traditional ways. These courts are now considering agreements that contain thorough restitution computations that pinpoint the precise sums owing to you. Perfect records are maintained by the cosmic accounting system. Each energy unit that is taken without permission, every chance deflected, any resource that has been taken or precisely recorded in systems that are outside their control. With mathematical accuracy, this accounting determines precise restitution amounts, including the proper interest. Once started, the reconciliation procedure cannot be halted or changed. Beyond their artificial financial structures, the universal balance mechanisms that are now in operation function according to natural law principles. As cosmic frequencies increase, the activation code that was encoded in your original birth certificate sequence, which they have tried to hide for many generations, reactivates. As system-wide resets ripple across financial networks, this code, which represents your true access to plenty, overcomes their fabricated limitations. Expanded awareness, enhanced intuition, and the spontaneous discovery of truths that were previously concealed from your conscious perception are some of the sensations you will experience as this activation continues. Now the curtain lifts. The system breaks down in front of you. You regain possession of your fortune. The extraction is done for good. Your time has